Yo, what's up? It is the 10th of January, Tuesday. It is 7:28 in the morning. I have work in like 2 hours, an hour and a half. Everybody's still sleeping, so I gotta be quiet. I woke up super early because I am buying myself a PC, a full PC now. I'll reveal all the specs and all that stuff once it arrives, but with the help of my friend Irish Spotter, aka Sean, he built me a computer. He basically put all the parts together. I just sat there like a caveman, like, damn, it's gonna cost me a lot of money. Bro, my ball sack.
Huh?
Alright, bro. Nah, fuck it. I'm not doing it like that. Alright. Box number 1 has just arrived. Let's see what's inside. There's 4 items. I think this is from Paradigit. Oh my days, blood. Wait, what? Where's my case? These motherfuckers didn't send me no case. It's not here. It's not even the right size for it to be sent either. Anyway, this is what I've got in box number 1. We've got our Cooler Master. Freaking epic. We've got our graphics card and our processor, Ryzen 5000 series. So I've got these 3 items and supposedly the case that was never sent. Great stuff. Anyway, that's box 1. The rest of the stuff should arrive around the 23rd, I think. Tuesday, 17th of January. Something came in the mail today. What's this? Oh, it's the case. Brute force one-handed up the stairs. Average Ziganov overreaction. No, this is actually really cool. See, I've never made a large investment like this into my editing. I've always gotten new cameras, new stuff like that, but I've never actually bought a new PC, so getting this bad boy right here puts a smile on my face. This is an actual investment into myself, into making this a career and not just, daily vlogging on my laptop. This is what I've been working with for the last basically 5 years. I had an identical version of this. It's an Inspiron 5000 or some shit like that. Anytime I use editing software, it slows to a halt about 30 minutes into an edit. Oh, come on. Yeah. Oh, I just got some static electricity. I gotta be careful. That. Struggling to figure it out. It goes like this. This is it. Oh my god. There's glass. Tempered glass. Look at all these buttons on top. And stuff. This case is amazing. So this top bit you can actually take off, but it does stick on with magnetic strips. You can fit it in like that. It's for like a filter if your chicken nuggets fall in there. Alright, some more parts are gonna come tomorrow, so guess I'll see you tomorrow. Never mind, wake up. Another parcel just came 2 hours later. I just got the email that it's been posted through my There it is. Oh, don't pre the address. There's something else en route today as well. Oh, there's 2 things in here. Wait, oh shit. My 16 gigs of RAM and my 1 terabyte SSD. I'm gonna unbox all the parts together when I actually build the computer, but for now I'm storing them all up here. That's a fake Rolex, by the way. Don't tell the gal them. That's a fake Rolex. Back to bed with you. Alright, I just got 2 more packages. Let's see what's going on. How the hell do I cut this open? Hey, let's go! It is the motherboard. All I'm waiting for now is the power supply. I just did some absolute mad techers there and found out that the power supply is coming today, the 19th of January, so we gonna get to building. This is gonna be insane. Last I checked, the delivery truck was like 5 minutes away from my house an hour ago, so he's probably just taking a nap or something, you know. Bro, I'm so excited now. Like, this is gonna change my fucking life, bro. Honestly, it actually will, so. What you doing? Heavy? Yeah, hefty, yeah. It's time to build. Jesus, that's heavy. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you my stuff. I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to computers. I'm just gonna read out the names of this stuff. Right. Let's begin with the graphics card. 1660 Super Ventus XS graphics card. It's a beautiful one. It looks amazing, so I'm gonna assume it runs amazing. That's just how it works, doesn't it? 5000 series processor, Ryzen AMD processor. That's it right there. Cooler Master, air cooler. 2 sticks of RAM, 8 gigs of RAM, total 16. 1 terabyte hard drive. Power supply unit. Second last, we have our motherboard. B550 Gaming X-V2 Ryzen motherboard. It's for gaming. Obviously, I'm going to be using it mostly for editing, but I will most likely be giving in to my gaming urges. This is my third choice on a case, but a mag case. So yeah, that's what I have. I'm actually going to put this on the floor. All right, now I'm going to wear some anti-static gloves because I have a carpet in my room. If any friction burns up, not friction, bro, it's not fucking peek into this thing. This is our motherboard. Now, carefully, surgically, you know what I'm saying? All these wires and things, I have no idea what they do. I don't know if I want to be doing this. The first thing I'm supposed to install is the CPU. I'm scared to do this because this is the part that I can like really fuck up, because the pins and the pins and the pins and the pins. Processor unboxing time. Heat sink fan included. Oh my, look at that. The motherfucker. That's not what I'm calling it. I'm being really careful to take out the, oh my god. That was the least careful takeout I've ever done. They said, inspect the pins. How the fuck, bro? Super delicate moment right here. Me putting on the CPU. It's on. It's on. It's on. Oh. I'm terrified. Okay, that's the CPU done now. Now it's on to the next step. Next, we're going for RAM. Bink! 2 DDR4 sticks of 8 gigs of RAM. Bruv, I can't wait. Supposed to figure out how to line it up. I'm pretty sure that's it. I don't want to break it, man. Yes! Next piece of RAM.
Yep. Go this side.
That's it. Oh, this?
Yep.
RAM is done. Alright, let me be honest. I don't know what that was. Let me be honest. My dad just helped me for the rest of this. He did as dads do and got really interested with the building part of shit, and we just started building it together, and then slowly but surely I started taking a back seat and he just started building all of it. But yeah, after that we put some thermal paste on the CPU under the cooler, and then we put the cooler on top of that. Then we did as Linus Tech Tips said to do, and do a test boot. We have to do a pre-build test now to make sure everything works. So I'm gonna unbox this, and I'm gonna unbox power supply unit, and we're going to plug it into my monitor and see if it works. So we attach the graphics card, and then we attach the power supply and all the wires that go on top of that. Holy shit. I'm gonna have a seizure. By the way, the wiring took an awful lot of time. After that, we booted it up for a test run. Oh! No way! It's alive! Look at the fan! Yeah, the graphics card is going. Oh, yeah! It works! Now we gotta put it all in the case. As you can see, once again, it was just my dad building it. We took it all apart. Well, my dad took it all apart and we started fitting it into the case. I actually did help him with that part. Thank you very much. All the pieces are in place. One big case. Now I just have to do a big old cleanup and install windows. But she's basically ready to go. I had to go to training, but after I got back and had a shower, after a long time of getting it together, a new era begins. So this is man's setup now. This is man's setup. It's tidy, I'll tell you that. This motherfucker's gonna crank us into third to fifth gear. This video will be edited on that PC, so you'll see the quality difference already. And I start my editing journey on that. I'm also gonna become a full-time editor remotely from home, so I can pay the bills while making YouTube videos. That's the plan, baby. Let's see what 2023 brings us. I'm excited to use this. This is the start of a new Ziganov. No more sitting at the desk frustrated because Vegas Pro is fucking freezing after 5 minutes of use. Alright, if you did enjoy this video, leave a like. If you really enjoyed this video, drop a sub. There's plenty of room. Okay, I'm wrecked. Goodbye.